Adversity. The ability to overcome or defeat a difficult situation.
Come on, baby!
It's a hardship that has gone hand in hand with the sweet science since day one.
There's nowhere else in sport you'll find greater passion, greater intensity, greater courage.
And whilst every fighter overcomes adversity to some extent in their career, some simply defy all odds.
Douglas, and down goes Tyson.
On May 4th, the traditional Cinco de Mayo weekend, we see the return of one of the sport's most admirable competitors, a Brooklynite with nothing to lose and nothing to fear.
Understand what I've been through, where I come from. I have no fear whatsoever of anyone.
Overcoming cancer little over 6 years ago, Danny Jacobs is now inches away from his wildest dreams.
And Daniel Jacobs has made history.
Though whilst he rolls the dice with conviction, the task ahead is far from simple. In terms of boxing, excluding that night 2 years ago in New York, there is no bigger challenge. Canelo Alvarez. A name which demands respect for different reasons, has transpired into boxing's hottest asset. Learning from his setbacks, taking on all comers, and improving every time out. Also, acknowledging one of his toughest opponents yet, and the chance to put away all doubts. Eyeing up greatness, to Canelo, a win at the T-Mobile Arena will symbolize much more than another tick on his resume.
I need a win tonight to become a star in the middleweight division.
One man's return from what was essentially a death sentence to another man's statement that he is, as many boxing fans believe, the leader of the new era. Canelo Alvarez versus Danny Jacobs. Welcome to a Motivedia presentation. Over 10 years now since his American debut, the aptly named Golden Boy has gone from strength to strength.
Soles of my shoes I want, the knees of my jeans I torn. Sweat coming through my shirt, keep pushing even though it hurts.
A man who won 30 of his first 42 fights by knockout, with just that one loss on his record, now holds arguably the best resume of today.
I want to caution you to keep this fight clean at all times, protect yourself at all times, and what I say you must obey. Good luck to both of you. Touching my finish with it.
And after signing a $365 million deal with DAZN, he sits alongside Anthony Joshua as the present and future of the sport on a global level.
Canelo, he's a seasoned fighter. You can see his progression since he fought Mayweather, how much he's learned. I like Canelo. Canelo's big time. He's big in the game.
It's now 2 years since his one-sided victory over Julio Cesar Chavez. A 24-month period that has seen it all. Controversy, stigma, and action.
God forbid you catch this guy cheating again and you got to spend him for 2-3 years, then you all lose money and it's a big problem.
118 to 110 for Canelo. This is officially a draw.
No, I won't. I'm a man on a mission.
And whilst that third fight remains doubtful, the Mexican looks to what could be an equally, if not even more, dangerous opponent.
Really what this journey signifies for me now is just proving to the world that I am the best. The world know I belong.
It goes to show you what Canelo Alvarez is all about. I mean, he wants to fight the best. He wants to take on the tough challenges. And obviously, May 4th is no exception.
Now, in what will be his 55th professional fight, Saul Alvarez has the chance to silence his critics in what is being deemed a true 50-50 fight.
That's definitely a 50-50 fight. Whoever wants it more will take it.
Proving he can stay sharp for 12 rounds against the ultimate pressure fighter, Canelo's slick and slippery style seems to be ever improving. And at just 28 years old, the three-weight world champion looks as sharp as ever in his San Diego training camp.
Right now.
Tell me who you are, get in the car.
Right now.
Though if anyone can pull off an upset to shock boxing's biggest star, then it's a man also aptly named the Miracle Man.
Make up his mind that I'm willing to walk through fire to get what I'm trying to get, and I'm not leaving here without it. And if he has that mindset, he's gonna be a hard man to beat on the night.
God, I'm low. God, my soul. All of my thoughts be dark like coal.
35-2-0 with 29 knockouts. Danny Jacobs is a true middleweight all-rounder with lightning-fast hands, stout defense, and a mean left hook. And he's a man who some believe, Eddie Hearn included, got the better of Golovkin 2 years ago.
He's a great fighter. When you talk about close fights, I have him beaten in Triple G by a round. Therefore, he's the best middleweight in the world.
Despite being dropped in the fourth, Jacobs gave an incredible account of himself, and one that served him well, providing him another crack at the big time. Since returning, he outpointed Luis Arias, an unbeaten 18-0 prospect, followed by Maciej Sulecki, a Polish 28-0 fighter. And better still, a third unbeaten fighter, fellow Matchroom stablemate Sergey Derevyanko. Now, back where he belongs, the American has a chance to shock the world once again. From being paralyzed by a life-threatening tumor that wrapped around his spine, to being told he would never walk again, to here and now.
They told me I could never box. They told me I wouldn't walk proper. But guess what I did? I proved everyone wrong.
As people, we are a product of our experiences. Some good, some bad, but all defined to make us into who we are. Come May 4th, Danny Jacobs hopes to fulfill what he considers his destiny by becoming the unified middleweight champion. With almost 20 more professional fights under his belt, on paper everything looks to be Canelo's way. However, when the two stand side by side, we see a different story.
Champion versus champion for the face-off.
Being a natural middleweight, Jacobs looks the much bigger of the two with 4 inches height and 3 inches reach advantage. Something that he will look to utilize with the activity of his piston-like jab, preventing the Mexican from unloading.
That's why this fight is so big, because we're both the 2 best middleweights in the division. And for us to go at it with our styles that complements each other, you know you're going to get action.
Though Floyd Mayweather has been the only man to successfully nullify Canelo, only being hit when he chose to stay in range. Something which, especially against the slicker and more experienced version, Jacobs cannot afford to do.
But I think a motivated Jacobs is a problem for anybody. A motivated Canelo is obviously a problem for a lot of guys. It's interesting. It's a good fight.
Yeah, I think Danny has the advantage, because here's the thing. Danny's going to pick his shots on the end and do what he wants to do on the end. Canelo has to get close to Danny and hit him.
Danny Jacobs, he's a physically big man, and he's got skills to burn. He's going to have to be on his A game, but if he is, then Danny Jacobs is going to beat Canelo. Trust me.
Likewise, Jacobs won't be as stationary or as easy to hit as Golovkin. The question instead is whether he can put Canelo on the back foot at any point. And now, coming into the twilight of his career, whether he can maintain the Mexican's pace.
Daniel Jacobs has told me for a long time he will beat Canelo Alvarez.
Hyped as a true 50-50 fight, we see 2 fighters with strong chins, but both capable of a stoppage. Though, against a fighter who seems to be upping his game in all areas, can the Miracle Man pull off the unthinkable? Either way, a man who has overcome some of life's toughest challenges will walk into the lion's den beating his chest to give Saul Alvarez the fight of his life.
What happened to those great middleweight championship rivalries we used to have in the 80s? This is what happened to them. We might be watching one right now.